Shivangi was sitting and reading a book. The room was filled with silence, only the soft sound of pages turning could be heard. Just then, a maid gently knocked on the door. Shivangi lifted her gaze from the book and allowed her to come in. The maid entered, respectfully bowed, and said, "Princess, the designer has arrived. He is waiting for you in the meeting room downstairs." Hearing this, Shivangi nodded slightly. She closed the book, organized herself, and walked quietly towards the meeting room. When she reached there, a maid immediately opened the door for her. Shivangi stepped inside and saw that a man and two women were already present. The man was the most famous designer in the state. Every dress he created was not only loved in this state, but also in other states. From royal families to large elite households, everyone admired his art. The two women accompanying him were his assistants. As soon as they saw the princess, all three immediately stood up and respectfully bowed. Shivangi accepted their greeting with a slight nod and then sat down on the sofa in front of her. A maid quickly brought tea for her. Shivangi took a sip of tea and then raised her calm yet impactful gaze towards the designer. Upon meeting the princess's gaze, the designer immediately spoke, "Princess, this is our book of the finest dresses. If you like any of them, please let us know." Saying this, he respectfully handed the book to Shivangi. Shivangi began to turn each page of the book with great attention. If this had been the old Shivangi, she would have examined each dress in detail, considering its color, design, and embroidery, and then made her choice very thoughtfully. But at this moment, she had no particular interest in any of these things. She just kept looking at the dresses and flipping through the pages one by one. None of them seemed special to her. In her previous life, she had worn countless magnificent and rare outfits. In comparison, all these designs appeared ordinary. That was why none of the dresses could capture her attention. Seeing the princess's indifference, the designer understood that she did not like any of the dresses. For a moment, a look of concern flashed across his face. Then suddenly, he remembered something. He quickly took out another book from his bag and respectfully handed it to the princess. Shivangi opened the second book. This time, it contained only one dress, an extremely beautiful, unique, and attractive outfit. The entire design was dedicated to that one dress. Its texture, its pattern, the combination of its colors. Everything was so different and unique that Shivangi's attention immediately fixed on it. For the first time, a hint of interest appeared in her eyes. Seeing this, a ray of hope shone on the designer's face. He said, "This dress is created from my own imagination. I designed it just like that, but I believe that if the princess wears it, it will definitely look stunning. I hope you will like this dress." The princess looked at the design for a while. A complete silence enveloped the room for a few moments. Then, closing the book, she said, "All right, we will wear this." Hearing this, joy sparkled in the designer's eyes. Shivangi handed the book back to him. The designer, extremely pleased, said, "I will make a dress for your birthday that no one has ever seen or heard of." This made a slight smile appear on Shivangi's lips. The designer signaled to his assistants. Both women immediately stepped forward and began to take the princess's measurements. After some time, their work was completed, and all three respectfully bowed and left. Shivangi also returned to her room and began to rest for a while. Evening time. The golden rays of the setting sun were scattered over the palace's high walls and marble balcony. A calm, sweet, and soothing coolness began to fill the atmosphere. Shivangi was standing on her balcony, gazing at the distant sky. Just then, Neela came from behind and respectfully handed her a cup of tea. Shivangi smiled and invited her to join her for tea. Both of them sat on the balcony and began to enjoy their tea. For a while, only the rustling of the wind and the gentle steam of the tea existed between them. Then Neela curiously asked, "Princess, will you go with the Maharaja to your birthday celebration this time too, as you do every time?" Hearing this, memories of her past birthdays began to swirl in Shivangi's mind. How she would excitedly prepare to go with the Maharaja every time. How she would arrive early. How she would secretly hope that perhaps this time the Maharaja would spend some time with her. But every time, the same thing happened. The Maharaja would formally wish her a happy birthday and then get busy talking with emperors, ministers, and officials. Even in such a grand celebration, she would feel alone. There would be a crowd of people, music, lights, but within her, there would only be an emptiness. Thinking about this, a firm resolve began to take shape in Shivangi's mind. This time, she would not do the same. This time, she would not wait for anyone. This time, she would create her own identity. Looking at Neela, she said, "We don't know if the Maharaja will like it or not, but we have decided that we will find another way without bothering him. After all, there is no rule that there must be someone with us at every celebration. And besides, I am not so big now that I need a partner. That's why I am thinking that this time I will enter the party alone." Neela was a bit surprised to hear her, but she also found the princess's words to be correct. She slowly nodded in agreement. Just as Shivangi and Neela were still sipping tea, someone knocked on the door. Neela got up and went to the door. A servant of the Maharaja was standing outside. Neela respectfully asked, "Yes, how can I assist you?" The servant politely said, "I have brought a message from the Maharaja. The Maharaja has invited the princess to join him for dinner." Shivangi, who was standing behind and listening to everything, was taken aback. A look of surprise clearly appeared in her eyes. This was the first time the Maharaja had personally taken the initiative to invite her for dinner. Before this, she always went to him. But today, everything was different. She was still lost in her thoughts when the servant asked again, "Princess, would you like to send any message to the Maharaja?" Shivangi composed herself and replied, "No message. We will arrive there on time." The servant bowed and left. As soon as the door closed, Shivangi stood there for a few moments. Countless questions began to arise in her mind. Why was everything different this time? This had never happened before. Curiosity, surprise, and a hint of doubt began to arise in her mind all at once. Were the Maharaja's changes genuine? Or was there some other reason behind it? What would happen next? Was the Maharaja's invitation for a simple dinner? Or was there a deeper reason hidden behind it? Would Shivangi's changed attitude raise suspicions in the palace? Would this night unveil some secret from her past? Or would it mark the beginning of a new chapter in her relationship with the Maharaja? To find out, read the next chapter.